my channel. Welcome to this video on how to leave the matrix, your top 9 to leave. And I'm even going to talk about why it's so important to leave the matrix right now at this moment. I'm telling y'all now, get a head start, okay? Because like, I don't want to say that, but it's about to pop off, okay? What's that? Like the money matrix is about to pop off. Like I really need y'all to know that, okay? Some people talk about it, some people don't. But anyway, we're gonna talk about that today in this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm and it's gonna help other people who are interested or who are ready to leave the matrix too. So make sure, when you like a video, I want y'all to know you're not just, it's not like really about me, it's more about helping the collective, okay? So please make sure to like and subscribe, okay? My voice is like this. Y'all, we just got off of like another live stream earlier, but the mic was off, so we ain't gonna get into that, but gotta do this video again. So here we are, and we're gonna do it and do it well, okay? So 9 signs you're ready to break free out of the matrix. So the first thing I want y'all to know is that why it is so important to break free of the matrix right now, okay? And this is coming from a perspective of somebody who has traveled the world, who has seen different cultures, and can see the movement and the changes that are happening globally, okay? All around the world, not just in one part of the world, not just in one country, all over the world. I've seen these changes. I know it's about to pop off internationally, and I want y'all to get ahead of the game, okay? So I want y'all to really understand that the first thing is that in the next 10 years, we're going to come up on a AI revolution. So you know how we had the Industrial Revolution, right? This was in the 1900s when, when we went from people hand making furniture, when you bought furniture back then, it wasn't just something, it wasn't something cheap that you can get from IKEA, right? You had to go to a craftsman who made this furniture and it was really expensive, but you kept the furniture and you would even pass it on to like your kids or your children's children, right? Because it was such good quality, right? But then when the Industrial Revolution happened, we shifted to machine-made furniture like in IKEA, and we actually changed to more cheaply made furniture because everybody wanted to have more access to certain designs and certain looks when it comes to their furniture, how they decorate their house, right? So I'm saying all of this to make y'all understand that this is going to happen again, but it's going to happen with AI, and it's going to happen within the next 10 years. So I want y'all to start thinking about leaving the matrix now, because this is going to be the difference between people who are shocked and surprised that this is happening, and they're going into debt, and they don't know what to do because they've been so reliant on this matrix. They've been so reliant on getting money from the 9 to 5. They've been so reliant on getting money from either like the government or that 9 to 5 loop, right? That when they don't have that anymore, which is gonna happen in the next 10 years, when they don't have that anymore, they're not gonna know what to do, right? And so one of the biggest ways and the biggest reasons to step out of the matrix is so that's not going to be you 10 years from now, okay? When stuff, when stuff starts to hit the fan, I don't want that to be y'all, okay? I want y'all to be like, no, I have my business online, and it's going well. And it's not just going well, it's doing even more than I could have intended, right? And so you need to realize that too, okay? We're gonna go through an AI revolution. Like, people are going to lose their jobs by the billions, not millions, billions, okay? I want y'all to realize that. I want y'all to know that so that you are prepared. That's why I say it's so important to leave the matrix right now, because that's going to happen, okay? What happened during COVID, it's going to happen again. And maybe I'll make another video about this, about exactly when this is going to happen. I have some, how do I want to put this? Some predictions about when COVID is actually really going to happen. I know, I think there was a scare last year that COVID was going to happen again. And it's not necessarily going to happen during that because unlike a lot of people don't know this, but numerology has a big impact. Like, there's a reason why COVID happened in 2020 and not in other years, okay? So anyway, that's a conversation for another another live stream. Comment below or just comment in the chat if y'all would like to hear more about when the next COVID is going to happen. I'll put that in quotes, COVID, right? Because it's not going to be necessarily the same reason why people are locked in, but they're gonna have some kind of legitimate reason for people to be locked in, right? So anyway. But this is why you need to leave the matrix right now. This is why you're seeing signs right now to leave the matrix, to leave your 9 to 5, to leave those loops, because there is that instinctive part of you, that intuition is letting you know, hey girl, or hey boy, or hey there then. We need to figure this out. We need to figure this out. We need to get more comfortable. We need to start trusting God more, instead of trusting the system, because the system is going to slowly but surely just, I don't even want to say like die. It's not gonna die. There's just gonna be an earthquake like within the system. Okay, yeah, there'll actually be real earthquakes too, but there's gonna be how do I want to say, a metaphysical earthquake. Okay, so that's what came to mind. So that's how I'm gonna put it. But I want y'all to be prepared for that. And one of the biggest ways to do that is to leave the matrix, okay? Leave the matrix, leave the 9 to 5 jobs. And now I wanted to get into the signs that you are getting right now to step out of the matrix, to and to really kind of validate your intuition that is saying it's time to leave the matrix, it's time to step out, it's time to live in abundance, it's time to live a limitless reality, right? So I wanted to get into the signs because this is going to help you further be aware of, when God is really telling you, okay, now is the time to step out of the matrix, okay? So, because sometimes when we start to go on these journeys of not even self-discovery, but, but actually self-discovery, knowing truly who you are inside, it kind of goes exponential. Like you'll get like little conversations or signs here and there, but as you get closer to the time when you're really supposed to be leaving the matrix, you're gonna get them more and more and more and more and more. And that's why I want to make this video, because I'm going to break down the top 9 signs that is letting you know it is time to leave the matrix right now. Okay, and I'm even going to talk a little bit about like why you need to leave now, and what that's going to look like too, because a lot of people, they leave the matrix, and some people, they leave the matrix and they get scared and they go back into the matrix, and I don't want that to happen to y'all, okay? But I'm telling y'all right now, people have been so reliant on these systems that exist right now, whether it's the political systems, the government systems, the school system, right? They've been so reliant on these systems, and these systems are going to experience an earthquake, okay? We got a little mini quake in 2020, but there's going to be a lot of shifts and changes. And one of the biggest things that people are going to have to learn, either now, if y'all watching this video, or 10 years in the future, is that y'all gonna have to realize you need to start trusting God. You have to trust the universe, okay? These earthquakes that we're going to experience, and again, not necessarily physical, but metaphysical earthquakes that we are going to experience in the next 10 years, maybe even more than that, it's all for a reason. It's all to make us realize who we truly are and how we are truly connected to God, okay? But anyway, okay, again, it's a topic for another conversation. So the 9 signs, okay? So the first sign is you are experiencing repeating loops or cycles, okay? So again, this isn't necessarily a 9 to 5 job, right? A really good example of this is the movie Who Cloned Tyrone. He didn't have a 9 to 5 job. He was a hustler, like he was, he was a drug dealer. He didn't experience a 9 to 5 job, but he was experiencing these loops every single day, okay? So that's why I didn't want to put like leave your 9 to 5 job, because it's not about leaving the 9 to 5 job. There are other people, I feel like even digital nomads who are experiencing loops, right? So you want to figure out what these loops are, and you want to become aware of them, okay? Because once you become aware of the repeating loops and cycles, then you can start to really exit the matrix and really start to realize what serves you and what doesn't serve you, okay? But you have to leave those loops. That is super, super, super important, okay? You absolutely need to leave the repeating loops and cycles, okay? But like I said, like in Who Cloned Tyrone, there was a moment where he realized he was experiencing the same thing every single day, okay? And again, it's not attached to a 9 to 5. It's not attached to what you do. It's just attached to the repeating habits that you're experiencing over and over and over again, okay? And it's super important to become aware of this and to know that this is a sign, because once you realize this is a sign, you start to shift your reality. You start to set those intentions that are going to allow you to maybe even passively shift your reality without you even having to take action, right? This is where, writing and kind of, how do you say it? Like calibrating your water is going to come to hand. This is when, saying those affirmations when you wake up and before you go to bed is going to come to hand, right? If you're talking about passively reprogramming your mind, that's two ways you can do that. Okay, so the second sign that you're ready to break out of the 9 to 5, or you're ready to break out of the matrix, is you're tired of the 9 to 5, but really you have this like sense that you're brain dead. Like again, it goes back to that loop thing. You're just done. You're like, this is so boring. Like, what am I doing? Like, this is, and sometimes like we get so caught up in the matrix that we don't realize this. And sometimes it actually takes like, not sometimes it takes a shocking moment, something shocking to happen to you, or you can do this the plant medicine way or using fungi also, okay? But this can really help you realize that, um, you're tired of the 9 to 5, because like there's gonna be a point for you where literally your brain cannot compute why you wake up every morning, why you go to work, and then why you come back home, eat dinner, watch TV, go to bed, do it all over again. And everyone's gonna experience this point either now or, like I said, within the next 10 years when we have those earthquakes. People are really gonna be shocked and realize like what, like the loops that they are creating themselves, right? That's the other thing. People don't realize you are choosing to stay stuck in a loop. People don't realize this because, again, remember, you make your reality. Not everybody else makes it for you. You make your reality. Your reality comes from within you, okay? You make those loops. You choose to stay in those loops. You need to start to shift your reality, shift your mentality, shift your perspective on your reality and what and how you perceive yourself. And you absolutely need to start to become aware of that so that you can leave the matrix, okay? But that's gonna be the second thing, is you're tired of that 9 to 5, you're feeling brain dead, you're feeling tired of that, okay? The third thing is you're tired of having the same conversation. So this is another loop pattern, right? You have the same conversation with the same people and you're tired of it. You're tired of the monotony, right? We're not supposed to live in a monotony. Like when you look at jungles, right? The rawness of earth, there is no monotony. If you go into a jungle, it looks chaotic because there's so much growth, because there's so much abundance, because there's so much diversity everywhere, right? It's not like all the same, right? In fact, this world was created to have like a creative, to have abundance, to have a limitless abundance, right? It wasn't created to live in monotony. It wasn't created to live in the same type of house as everybody else. It wasn't created to live in the same type of car as everybody else, right? It was really created to live in a reality where we can really start to create and just live in creation, right? We embody creation itself. So you need to start living in that, okay? I'm gonna take some little sip of my tea real quick because, ooh, my voice. Okay. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, great. So you're tired of having those same conversations, okay? When you have those same conversations, you absolutely need to become aware of that. And you need to start shifting the way you interact in those conversations, okay? Because a lot of y'all, those conversations are weighing you down. Those conversations are negative conversations that are actually getting in your way of leaving the matrix. So you actually need to start learning how to manipulate those conversations that's gonna actually favor you. Stop saying, oh, I'm broke. Start saying, oh no, I have abundance. I have money coming in this week. Whether or not that's true or not, just start saying it. Start to choose to live in that reality, okay? This is so important. Our language is everything. Our language and our thoughts, it's like the two, and our feelings are the three most powerful ways of us creating our reality or shifting our reality or even stepping out of the matrix, okay? But if you're not doing that, if you're not putting in that work, if you're not shifting how you interact with those conversations, then nothing's gonna change. And I don't want y'all to get stuck. I want y'all to be able to change. I want y'all to really, embrace abundance and embrace change and embrace being part of creation instead of just witnessing it. Okay, so for stuck in a healing loop. So this is the other one that I've seen a lot of people have, right? So maybe like you're still in 9 to 5, you're still in the matrix, but maybe you go on retreats, or maybe you go to the yoga studio once a week or a couple times a month, because you're on your healing journey, right? Which is fine. You can be on your healing journey, right? But you need to make sure that you're on your healing journey with intention. Do not get stuck in your healing loop, in the healing loops, okay? Healing is like, the healing loop, it looks like this, right? Some people go around and around and around and around and around, when really you're supposed to start here, go around the healing loop, end here, and then exit. You're not supposed to go in a loop for years, okay? Some people, they get stuck in healing loops for years. And it's crazy because they'll spend thousands of dollars on retreats, seeing a guru, going to these conferences, not seeing changes, because at the end of the day, okay, one of the biggest lessons I learned from working with healers in the past was that you need to make those changes. Even if you do a ceremony, I've seen so many people do ceremonies, go to different ceremonies, go to different healers or shamans, and maybe they feel good within the first day, couple of days, or a week. But then that's it. They go back to the same lifestyle. They go back to the same 9 to 5 job. They'll go, maybe they take a break from the matrix for like a year or two, but then they go back to the same lifestyle. And my point is, like, I really want to encourage y'all to be aware of that and to know that you're not meant to go back. You're supposed to evolve. You're supposed to push yourself forward. You're not meant to go back to the same stuff, okay? But usually when people go back, it's because it's fear-based. They don't trust God at that point, right? And I know a lot of y'all are saying like, oh no, I love God, I trust God. But true trust is quitting your job, not knowing where the money is going to come from, not knowing where you're going to go, but knowing that the universe or God is going to provide for you. That is true trust, okay? True trust is going on that solo trip by yourself, even though you haven't, traveled a lot before. Maybe you haven't traveled at all, but you're still going to go to that solo trip. That's trust. Okay, trust isn't staying in the 9 to 5, staying comfortable. That's not, when you're in that comfort zone, that's one of the other biggest things a lot of manifestors get wrong. When you're in that comfort zone, the comfort zone is not the creation zone. The comfort zone is kind of like, oh, I just want to be comfortable and let everything like stay the same. That's not making room for creation. There's some creation that can happen, but when you really want to live in a limitless reality, when you want to live in constant, not even constant creation, but when you want to be one with creation, you need to step out of that comfort and start to get uncomfortable too, okay? That was one of the biggest changes I had to make too, was start to get uncomfortable. In fact, before I did one of my first quantum leaps was when I took like 30 days, well, I did it in February, so 28 days, but I took a whole month, every single day did something that would make me uncomfortable. Every single day, okay? That's what I mean by that. Okay, I'm gonna take my little sip of tea because my throat is like, girl, what we doing? What we doing? But yeah, so this is like, it's super important to know this, okay? So that's getting stuck in a healing loop. Obviously, you can look at my other videos for that. But a lot of people get stuck in these healing loops, and you're not supposed to be in their healing journey if you want to. Look, that's the other thing. You are the creator of your reality. You need to know that, right? If you want to, sure, you can be in your healing journey for years. Sure. If you want to do that, sure. Okay, you can even be in it for decades if you really want to. It's up to you. You can do that, right? But I want to let you know, you have the power to create your reality. You have the power to decide whether or not your healing journey is going to be a year or a couple of years or a couple of decades. You have that power. It's up to you. You decide. Nobody else can. Your therapist isn't going to decide for you, okay? The gurus online aren't going to decide for you, okay? You decide. You have the power of intention and awareness. You need to use that, okay, to your benefit. So don't get stuck in a healing loop, okay? And if you can't figure out like where, how you're getting stuck in a healing loop, or not how you're getting stuck, but like you can't figure out how to get out of it, just comment below, ask me. I will answer your questions, like for real, like let me know, okay? Okay, so 5, have conversations with people who left. So this is the other biggest sign that people have when they start to think about leaving the matrix, is they start to have conversations with people who have left the matrix. They start to talk to people who have left the matrix, and you have more and more conversations like this. So at first, maybe it's just one or two people, but then it starts to become 4 or 5, 6, and it's like, oh wait, this is a sign that I really do have to. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to move on. For this, what I want y'all to know is I want y'all to take advantage of these conversations. And what I mean by that is, don't be like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about leaving the matrix, maybe in a couple of years. I want you to start using those conversations and intending, oh my God, I've actually been thinking about it and I'm ready to leave the matrix, and I'm going to leave in a couple of months, or I'm going to leave in a couple of years. No, not a couple. We're not gonna do that. Not a couple of years. Or I'm gonna leave like in a year. Okay. Start to make those moves. But when you have those conversations to kind of put yourself mentally in preparation, right, to really start to create that reality where it's like, I'm ready for that. Okay. But I want y'all to realize that when you have these conversations, you'll start preparing, but the preparation to shift your reality, it might not look like what you thought it was going to look like. Okay. So for example, let's say you're waiting on having, tens of thousands of dollars. You say like, in 3 months, I'm going to relocate. I'm going to step out of the matrix and I'm going to have $10,000 in my savings account. Because really, that's all you really need to do that. Actually, is a pro tip. Okay. You don't need hundreds of that. You need maybe $10,000 to really step out of the matrix. I'm telling y'all right now. But anyway, so let's say it's 3 months, or it's whatever, 3 months later, and maybe it's 2 weeks before you book your plane ticket. You don't have $10,000 in your bank account. It's okay. Follow through. This is a test of trust. This is a test of trust between you and God, okay? You telling God, I'm ready to move. I trust that you will take care of me. I trust that you will bring abundance in my life. I trust that, even though I only have $5,000, when I make these moves, I'm still going to be met with abundance. And maybe the extra $5,000 that I needed is going to come through in some way, okay? That was the other thing. When I stepped out of the matrix, it was like the first 3 months, I kept on receiving money coming from nowhere. I didn't even know where it was coming from, but I just kept on receiving money every single month. And I was like, there's no way. Because I would get like these readings from people. They're like, yeah, you're going to get some money that's unexpected. And I was like, where? Like, I couldn't even think of where it was going to come from, but I kept on getting money. It was really crazy. So this what I'm saying is, like, there's that element of trust. You just gotta trust. You gotta trust. That's it. You gotta trust the universe. And it looks scary because not a lot of people do that. Okay. I feel like the only people who really do that is maybe people who do like extreme sports, or well, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, so you gotta trust the universe. It's really important. Okay, so 6. All right, so 5, you have to have conversations with people who left. Okay, this is one of the biggest signs. 6, your intuition is telling you to leave now, not your ego, right? Figure out the difference between your ego and your intuition. Your intuition is a feeling you have with your soul. Your ego is usually coming from a space of fear. So if it's coming from a space of fear, don't do it. Excuse me. You want to make sure it's coming from a space of love, okay, and abundance, and allowing you to tap into a limitless reality, okay? So that's number 6. Number 7 is you change the way that you eat. And what I mean by this, I don't necessarily mean you're gonna go vegan or raw vegan. It's not what I mean. I mean that you become more aware of what foods are affecting you positively and negatively. That's all I mean by that, okay? So for different people, it's gonna look differently, right? But you're going to start to change the way you eat. You're going to start to change the way, the best way to do this too is what you eat first thing in the morning, or whenever you break your fast, okay? For some of y'all who are doing intermittent fasting, you need to make sure to break your fast, whether it's breakfast or lunch, doesn't matter. You need to break it with fruits, okay? Absolutely don't break it with meat. You can still eat meat, but you want to break it with fruit. You want to break your fast with fruit, okay? Same thing in the morning. Break it with fruit, okay? For those of y'all who are exercising, figure out and want to bodybuild, figure out what fruits have the most protein in it and eat those fruits, okay? but you want to break it with fruits, period. That's it. There's no eggs, there's no dairy, fruits, okay? So that's number 7. Number 8 is you're going to change physically. So this is different for different people. It doesn't mean you're going to go to the gym, okay? I know I'm dressed to go to the gym today, but anyway, so it doesn't mean you're going to go to the gym. It doesn't mean you're going to start working out. Changing physically can mean changing your hair. It can mean changing your makeup, the way you do your makeup. It can mean changing the way that you wear your clothes, okay? And this is going to be really, really important because when you start to change physically, it can actually have a huge effect on your mental changes too and how you want to perceive yourself and perceive your reality too. Another way to change physically is changing your physical space, feng shuiing your space. And I know some of y'all like, I've heard this before, but I'm telling y'all right now, it shifts your reality. Like, changing up your space really shifts your reality. It really does, like, miraculously too, okay? So you need to start to change. You start to change physically. That's your other sign that you are about to step out of the matrix, is you change physically, okay? You're ready for that change. You're ready for that shift, okay? And number 9, last but certainly not least, is you start to expand your perception of what it means to be human and live. So this is really, 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 this is probably the most important thing. So you start to realize that, and when I say like expand your perception, you start to realize that there is a world outside of your apartment complex. There's a world outside of your neighborhood. There's a world outside of the city that you live in. There's a world outside of the state that you live in. There's a world outside of the country that you live in, right? You start to expand your perception and you start to realize, I don't have to live this way. I'm choosing to live this way. If I want to, or I do want to, I'm going to shift my reality. I'm going to expand my perception of my reality, and I'm going to travel, or I'm going to relocate somewhere else. You don't necessarily have to travel, but you can relocate. And this is really going to help you kind of expand your perception and allow you to live more in a limitless reality, okay? Again, you want to live in a limitless reality. That's kind of what this channel is all about, living in a limitless reality. You want to do that, you absolutely need to start watching different YouTube videos of people who are living differently, okay? You need to start being open to living in a different way, okay? Again, there's a lot of programming that we have in our minds where it's like, oh, like, I'm not doing that. Or like, I'm not going to live that way. I'm comfortable where I'm at. And this is actually, this is keeping you in the matrix. This is keeping you in the matrix, like plain and simple. So if you really want to leave the matrix, if you really want to leave, where your, if you really want to leave, like where, how do I want to put this? If you really want to leave the matrix and you really want to start to live your best life, you have to absolutely start to expand your perception of how to live, right? Of how you live. And you have to be like okay with getting a little bit uncomfortable too. That's the other thing. I think all of my friends who are influencers, they always had a period of 1 to 2 years, maybe even more, where they just had to be uncomfortable with their living situation. Like they were living the best lives. They're posting on IG. Maybe they had all these followers, but it's not like there's an element that I think a lot of influencers don't talk about where it's like, you're living like in a really cheap room and it's free, or you're living like you're living for free on a farm or something like that. And it's like my point is sometimes you have to give up some comforts to live to start to shift your reality into the life that you want to live, okay? To make room for how you want to live and to live in that limitless reality, okay? So that's going to be it for today. Please make sure to like and subscribe as usual. And like I said, please comment below if you are having troubles or you are like getting stuck in your reality. Comment below. I will answer your questions about how to get out of that or how to start shifting so that you can live limitlessly, okay? I love y'all so much. And I will see y'all on Wednesday where I'm going to start to talk about exactly how to step out of the matrix, okay? So these were about the signs I'm going to talk about on Wednesday, same time, 6 p.m. PST. I'm going to talk about how to step out of the matrix, like specifically the steps you need to do that, okay? So I'll see y'all next week.